And joining us live, I assume from Carolina, down there in the beautiful Queen City, Charlotte, a man who is launching a golf collection alongside Unreal, UNRL, tomorrow online at unrl.co. We don't spell out Unreal, and we don't spell out calm.
No.
It's unrl.co. That sounds really cool. Wait till you see the shit that they're selling.
Yeah.
He looks so cool out at Tahoe. I'm excited to chat with him about that and about how it's going in Carolina. Ladies and gentlemen, Adam Thielen. So cool. You look so cool.
Just trying to be like you, man.
No. So Unreal Golf. Am I pronouncing it right, or is it Unreal? It's Unreal Golf, and your partnership started how? And how hands-on were you with the designs? Because you look so cool at Tahoe, and the logo is so sweet, pal.
No, it's been cool. It's actually how we got started together. Really is the founder, the guy who started Unreal Clothing. It went to school with me at Mankato. He's a couple years younger than me, and then that's how we got connected. And then I just started wearing the stuff, and obviously unbelievably comfortable. And then they started making golf stuff, and obviously you guys know I'm a big golfer.
Good golfer.
And so that's kind of how it all started. But my wife and I both kind of believe that we don't represent anything that we don't love. So any product, anything that we represent, it's something that we would wear, on our own, or something we would buy and represent that way. So that's no different here with Unreal.
All right. That is an incredible, I think that's why people like you so much. All proceeds from the apparel line benefit the Thielen Foundation and its programming around helping youth reach their full potential by providing educational scholarships and support through athletics. Hey, that's good shit, Bob.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Swing.
That's been something that's been really cool too, is they've been extremely supportive of the Thielen Foundation and kind of just came right alongside us and everything that we're doing with that and helping these youth reach their full potential through sport. A lot of it is, redoing weight rooms and underprivileged areas where these kids don't have any resources. They don't have, you go into some of these schools in their weight rooms and they have a 40-pound dumbbell here and a 10-pound dumbbell there. It's not anything exciting for these kids. So to be able to make them have something that they're excited about, to go to work and go play a sport and eventually, finish school and maybe go on to play a sport in the future is pretty cool.
Hell yeah. Opportunity is what you're setting up. And also, people will feel a little bit more invested if they know that they are on the same playing field as others, hopefully. Mm-hmm. And who knows what can come from a little bit of hope in somebody's mind. Are you telling people how to get this swing, to AJ's point? What a beautiful follow through here. Gorgeous. You're a real player. 7 birdies on Sunday at Tahoe.
Yeah. Jeez.
7 birdies on Sunday. Now, we don't have to talk about what happened before then.
No.
But you have the capability to do 7 birdies in one day. You're going to be a pro golfer when you're done? Are you doing the Tony Romo thing, you think?
Hey, I'll tell you what, when I'm done playing, then I'm going to give all the time that I give to football right now in the off season and all that will be dedicated solely to golf.
Oh, golf.
Okay.
Golf.
I'm going to try to get as good as I possibly can.
I'm joking. I just made you look terrible. That's on me. That's not. You're a guy that can do it though. So that's why I'm excited to see you pull it off. Let's talk about your current job here at football. All reports out of your camp are that you look fast, that you're getting he's getting separation.
Yeah.
And he's charming.
Funny.
And he's funny. All these things. So you feel good? It just got reported. I don't think we knew about this. There was an injury late last year. You got that fixed. Are you feeling 100% again? Do you feel like your younger self? How is it all going for you as a Carolina Panther? Seemingly great.
Yeah, I can honestly say this, and a lot of times, guys just say stuff just because it's a new year and all that. But this is the best I've felt since I was a young player. I mean, I can't. Someone asked me, one of my teammates the other day asked me about, what do you do now that you're older to be able to show up and play every day? And I really kind of told them, like, hey, honestly, I feel better right now today than I did when I was 25 or 24. Honestly, I remember my last year of college being like, man, I feel old. So I feel great. Obviously, there's a lot of work to do between now and the season, but feel really good right now and just got to stay on top of it.
Proud of you, buddy.
Yeah.
Go ahead, AJ.
Thielen, did you know last year, or first off, have you watched the show Quarterback on Netflix, the series where they followed Kirk Cousins, your quarterback last year? Did you know they were filming that all during last season? And I know you pop up there all the time in a lot of the game footage. And do you like the show if you watch it?
Yeah, I like the show. I love that kind of stuff. I mean, I love the game of football, obviously. So any insight into what other teams are doing, what individual players are doing, I thought they did a great job of showing what it takes to be a quarterback in the NFL. I don't think even a lot of players really know that play alongside these guys that really know what it takes to be a quarterback. So I thought that was good. I mean, I think they could have gone a little bit more in depth, but I think a lot of these teams probably didn't want to show too much detail of what goes into it. But yeah, I thought it was great, and I'm looking forward to season 2.
Hey, Kirk was awesome in there. And I assume that that's what Kirk is like in real life because we got to see him in numerous different settings, and he was the exact same nerdy motherfucker in all of them. Awesomely lovable, though.
Yes.
I think Kirk Cousins and Patrick, I think. Now, Marcus Mariota went through a lot, so it's going to be tough to be super babyface through that whole thing. But, like, Kirk gained a bunch of fans. Patrick gained a bunch of respect and fans from people because of how he acted. It was cool to see that. Now we're getting reports out of your new team that this quarterback is given protection breakdowns to offensive linemen on his 5th day in the NFL in a training camp. Bryce Young is allegedly this super genius when it comes to football. What has he been like from your standpoint? Because all sounds are that this dude is a guy. I mean, that's what people are saying about Bryce Young. What is your experience with him?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, you can just tell that he loves the game of football. I think a lot of times guys get drafted early on and they might not love it. They might be really good at it or, have a lot of experience and played at a high level. But he loves the game of football. Like he truly does. And like you said, he's talking about protections like he's been playing the league for 15 years. And I know nothing about protection, so I'm not going to pretend like I do. But no, it's been really cool to work with him. Really just the whole team, though. I mean, obviously adding a piece like him to this team has been huge, but just been so fun for me and really refreshing for me to be able to show up to work every day and work alongside not only the players, but the coaches, this coaching staff. It's been really cool. A lot of former players, a lot of coaches that have a ton of experience, whether it be playing and coaching or coaching, and just to be able to kind of take in all that and just to show up every day and the positivity, the kind of mix of I said this to someone the other day. It's the mix of being positive but also being real. You don't always get that in this league, and so that's been really cool.
Okay, I'm excited to hear how this whole thing pans out for the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
Both behind the scenes and in front of us, because the NFC South, wide open in everybody's eyes. You also got a guy from the Colts that came over with Frank, Jeff Brown. He's director of ops, bald-headed guy, played college baseball. He's a weapon. You need to utilize him. He behind the scenes, absolute dog. You guys got a good one. I went to Colts camp. I heard he wasn't there anymore. I'm like, where's Brown? They're like, went to Carolina. I'm like, this treasonous turncoat mother. He started as equipment manager for the Colts. We're talking equipment manager, intern as the Colts, all the way through. Now he's down there. You guys got a great staff, including him. I assume everything else is top notch as well. Good for you. And you got a golf sim in the locker room.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that was the thing so you can rock the hat. Connor has a question for you, Thielen.
Yeah, Adam, last year in Minnesota was O'Connell's first year, so obviously you had to learn a new system and a new offense there. Now going to Carolina, first-year coach Frank Reich learning another new system there. What's that process like, and is it almost easier in Carolina because that is a complete start from scratch? You're going there, you're new to the building as well, or is it similar at all?
Yeah, anytime you learn a new system, it's like it's almost like you're learning another language sometimes. Thankfully, this year, learning this system, a part of this staff, I think they did a really good job of making things make sense. Like there's a lot of times, as an offensive staff, they try to put together an offense that can kind of, you can ring stuff together to make it make sense. You can, formations make sense. The things just hit your brain in the easiest way possible. They try to do it that way, and they did an unbelievable job of doing that here. So it hasn't been that difficult to really learn the system. Now, the biggest thing is when you're with a new staff and you're learning a new system is you might have run the same exact route, concept or route, individual route for now going on my 11th year. but every single offense and every single offense coordinator wants that same route run differently. And there's little details of how that quarterback and offensive coordinator and offensive staff wants you to run that particular route. So that's something that
Yeah, but you're old.
we're working through every day.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're old.
That's true. I am old.
But you feel young, right?
24.
Absolutely. I feel great.
You like this offense for your particular style of football?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they did a great job of mixing some different systems together. I think when they got together as an offensive staff, they kind of said, hey, this is what I've done in my past, and it's been successful. And then, maybe someone else raises their hand and says, hey, this is what I've done, and this is really successful. And the way that they've meshed it together, it just makes sense to me. It hits my brain, and it's things that I've had experience with, and in actually a lot of different systems. And being able to put it all together has been really cool.
So your eye, you got a good eye for this hole. You know what I mean? You see this offense well. Oh, I mean, I'm not a big fantasy football player. I am in a league this year with a bunch of guys from West Virginia.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that just made me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go.
Put Thielen on the short list.
Sounds like it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know when I'm supposed to draft who, but
First
I'm going to be, this is my first time ever doing this. This is my first time doing this. I've signed up for leagues in the past in here.
Yep.
Never participated. I was teammates with Phil. He ran the whole team. Thank God. We ended up not being last, which is great news.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. I've never done this year. I'm doing it though. Welcome to my team, bub. Happy to
Hell
hear you're on my team.
yeah.
Let's go.
All right. I'm gonna send a text or two like, "Hey, bub."
Need you today.
It's go time. I need like a motivational speech before games.
Yeah, maybe we take Bryce Young to dinner on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
So he starts looking your way a little bit. Then let's start doing this whole thing. No, it sounds like you guys are gonna be good though. No growing pains, you don't think?
I think Coach does a great job in team meetings talking about it. Like, we're going to have ups and downs. It's how we weather the storm, obviously. But there's a ton of excitement, right? You walk through that locker room, guys are excited. And every team is, right? Everybody's 0-0. No one's had any wins and no one's had any losses. Everybody thinks they're Super Bowl potential right now. But I think there's just a different feeling of confidence in this locker room. And we're going to have to start out strong so we continue to kind of build the momentum in the right way. This league is a momentum league, and you never know what happens when you start catching a little fire. So we gotta make sure that there's a little sense of urgency in that locker room, and I think there is.
Go ahead, AJ.
What was it like being the new guy coming in, and you have such ties to Minnesota and everything, and now you come in obviously with your resume, so you have that instant respect. But what was it like? A lot of times that can be exciting, kind of going into a new environment and learning everything over again.
Yeah, it's completely refreshing. It feels like the first day of school or the first day of training camp in college. Like you're just kind of figuring everything out on the fly, and it really kind of allowed me to just go out there and play football, because that's the only thing that was constant for me, is going and running a choice route or going and running a post route. Like, I've been doing that my whole life. So it just allowed me to just go be myself and go out there and play free. It gave me a little extra motivation because I got a lot to prove. These coaches, these players, they've never seen me play in person. And so every day I'm going out there with a mission to prove who I am as a player and who I am as a teammate. And, I think that's something that we need to use as a team is I don't care what people are saying about us or what we think we are as a team, but we got to go out there and prove it every single day. And that's been my mindset.
Have you been taking that GPS tracker on like an ATV or a side-by-side or something like that? Is that how it's getting over 20 miles an hour?
No, that's the greatest thing about, when analytics fall on your side, it's a good feeling. When analytics fall on the other side, it's not great. But right now I'm happy with the old GPS because it's proven that I can still play at a high level and that I haven't fallen off like a lot of people feel I have.
How old are you?
I'll be 33 in a couple weeks.
Oh,
Wow.
okay. Well, happy birthday, in case we don't miss you. 32 years old, still flying around at over 20 miles an hour.
No big deal.
Wow. What's the top? Have they told you? Do they tell you every day? Like, tell you what, today, 21.7 miles an hour.
Moving.
21.7. Maybe we crack 22, and then the next day it's like 20 and a half. They're like, ooh, Thielen, everything okay? Maybe getting a little cold tub. Boy, do they tell you the numbers, or do you learn about it through the media?
Well, I think it's funny because I don't think they really knew what they were getting when they got me, because I think it was actually and then now the first couple of days of training camp, there's random people come up to me like, wow, did you know you could run that fast? Like they were.
There's a white here. There is an older white here. Okay, we thought the first day glitch.
No chance.
Had to be side by side or something. There's a Minnesota older white here. 22 miles an hour.
This boy can move.
Is that real? Are we seeing the same? Pull it up on the jumbo? Are you seeing the same thing I'm saying? This is every day. This isn't just one day. Let's keep eyes on that son of a bitch. Make sure he is, only wearing this to run and isn't in his car or something like that before this whole thing starts happening. That's funny to think about. Like, I assume Frank, GM, knew, but some of the coaches probably had no idea what the Adam Thielen experience was. And then they're hearing in his team, I heard last night you ran 21. Is that normal?
You were a possession guy.
What are we talking about? You run little outs across the middle. You know what I mean? Thielen's like, oh, how you all forget. Justin Jefferson, unbelievable at football.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, that is something now. And, I mean, you're a wide receiver at heart. So, all selfish prima donnas.
Yep.
That's what they say about wide receivers. You handled the Justin Jefferson situation with really great self-awareness, I think, personally. As a great wide receiver in your own right, Pro Bowler, All-Pro, and then maybe greatest of all time when it's all said and done, comes in to the Vikings, and all of a sudden the offense is like, hey, this is where we're going, and you just have to take back seat to that entire thing and kind of play your role, and you did that. Obviously, you had to pay for a workout to even get in front of NFL scouts, so you'll be the team guy. How excited are you to potentially, maybe get a little bit more priority in an offense now again, like you did a few years ago?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you guys, and this is not just the political correct answer, but
this is gonna suck. This answer's gonna suck, isn't it?
But to be honest, I mean, I love being a part of a tandem or a group. I mean, we had it with Diggs and I, we had it with Justin and I when he was an early young player, and I think there's something to say when guys feed off each other that you take away what a defense is trying to take away, right? Like, if they're going to try to take away Justin, then there's going to be one-on-one coverage on the other side, right? It's pretty simple math, right? And so I love that part of the game. And I love, playing with Justin, obviously. He deserved all those looks. He deserved all those opportunities. I mean, there was times where he was double, triple covered. The ball's going to him, and he's still coming up with the ball. So at the end of the day, I can't say that he shouldn't get those opportunities. And so it was always one of those things for me that I wanted to help him be the best player he could possibly be. And a lot of times that is me going and making plays and doing my job to allow him to be able to do his job. And so, I think that's why I am where I am, because towards my end of my time, that wasn't the case. But again, I love that guy. And have so much respect for the way that he treats the game and that he approaches the game. And I'm excited to see what he's going to do for a long time.
Oh, we're all excited to watch you next year as well. But yes, Justin Jefferson is electrifying on the football field. Seemingly cool dude too, super cool. This is just how it goes. I'm just unbelievable at football.
Who I am.
This is just ho-hum. He works his ass off though too, huh?
Oh, he busts his tail. I just man, there was nothing better than going to work with him. I'm not gonna lie, I miss him because he's such a great teammate. I always had a smile on his face every single day he walked into that locker room, and a lot of times it's because I was cracking a joke that he really didn't think was funny, but still laughed. But
that's a great teammate.
Yeah, wow.
There's nothing better than going to work with him. And then like you said, I mean, you show up to practice and watch out. That guy was all over the field. He was busting his tail. Never took a rep off. Never asked for a day off or a rep off. And just love to compete, which is pretty cool.
Hell yeah, it is. Hey, thank you for saying all that. I feel like I just learned a lot. Ty has a question for you, Adam.
Yeah, Adam, going back to Bryce, when we talk to Aaron on here, he'll talk about the rapport and the chemistry that he had to build with guys like Devontae and Jordy and how long that actually takes where you're on the same page. Obviously, you played with Kirk for a really long time, but how long does it take until you actually feel like you have that chemistry or rapport with a new guy? Now, it might be a little bit easier because he's a rookie and he hasn't played with a bunch of other guys before, but do you feel like you're light years ahead right now than where you were when you first started throwing with him? And how much further do you think you guys have to go until you really are kind of on that same wavelength mentally?
I usually wouldn't say this to a guy wearing Packers gear. But
It's in the past.
great question. But yeah, no. Honestly, there's kind of two sides of it, right? There's the one side of you have to kind of prove, and I'm sure Aaron talked about this. I remember him talking about it last year when he had a bunch of young receivers. You got to prove as a receiver that you deserve those looks and that you can be reliable and that he can kind of trust that you're going to be in the right spot at the right time, right? So that's kind of the process that you go through OTAs and training camp. And then on the other side of it, you got to also get on the same page as, okay, when I get this coverage and I'm running this route, what is my angle going to look like coming out of it? And for him to be able to release the football before you break, he has to really understand how you run your routes and how you're going to do those certain things against certain coverages. So that's something that takes probably the most time because you can't just talk about that in the meeting. You can't just show up and say, hey, during this coverage, I'm going to do this. Well, it just doesn't work that way. You have to have experience together. And those are the things that have already come up through the first week and a half of training camp that have been really good things that happened that we haven't completed a ball because maybe I've ran my route this way and he thought I was running it this way. And after the rep, we come back and say, hey, from now on, I'm gonna throw that ball exactly like you did because I'm gonna come out at that angle and that's an easy completion. So there's things that have happened that are like, okay, like we just kind of check something off the list of things that we've kind of gotten on the same page.
I love to hear that, growth, development. It also is a good thing for us to think about while we're watching these practices. You know what I mean? We're watching these highlights, and then some people are watching these lowlights, and we're in the first 6-7 days of practice with pads on and brand new offenses for a lot of people. There's going to be some shit to try to figure out. I think I just heard you say.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, I remember even going back, to playing with Kirk and like being in like year 3 and something shows up, whether it be in a game or a practice, that you're like, we've never actually had that look against that route, and then it shows up, and then you're like, okay, like now we're on the same page. So like there is little things that happen, 2-3 years down the road that you can kind of lock into your bank and say, okay, if that happens again, we are 100% on the same page. So it takes time. It just takes those reps to happen.
They're saying his bank is really good.
Oh yeah. Kirk's one of the
Kirk and Bryce. Kirk for sure.
Both.
We know Kirk. Yeah, we got a chance to watch Kirk's brain do its thing. You know what I mean? He's very intelligent. But they're saying Bryce's brain is like special. They're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I think you see it day in and day out, and I think it goes beyond just knowing the plays. It's understanding football, right? It's understanding timing and man zone and what the defense is trying to accomplish. I think that's where he's ahead of most rookies. And granted, again, there's going to be some highs and lows. We all go through that, right? As players. I mean, I'm in year 11 and there's lows in practices, right? That's just how this game works.
Lost it.
But at the end of the day, he's making throws with certain timing that you're like, he is processing the game a little differently than most guys. So that's been really cool.
It's a nice, he gets it. He understands. Him throwing that when he did, how he did, makes us realize that he knows, like, oh, this person was going to jump down on this at this particular time. Like, in the playbook, probably supposed to throw at this point, but instead, we're going to get there a little bit earlier because of something that's like that type of stuff, just for people that might not fully comprehend what you mean by that?
Yeah, I actually dropped a ball maybe third, fourth practice of training camp, and it was the ball was on me so fast. Like, I broke. As soon as I broke, the ball was like, bam, right there. And it was one of those moments that you're like, oh, wow, like he knew probably while the ball was being snapped that I was going to be wide open because of the way the safety moved or the way that, something reacted, the linebacker reacted to the running back or what have you. So that was kind of a moment that you're like, okay, like he's processing that almost too fast to where he knew where that ball was going instantly, which is obviously a good thing.
All right, well, you just need to also
look that thing in.
Yeah, catch the ball. Fantasy team.
Tone, last question for you here, Adam.
Yeah, Adam, you said this is the best you felt in maybe like 10 years. So I saw a report on the internet, so I've seen if you can confirm or deny it. After watching quarterback, you took Kirk Cousins' body gurus, Hank and Beatrice, and that is why you feel
That's
the
what
best
your question is.
you have?
What's your problem? Why are you obsessed with these two old people that Kirk's
Was that
letting
their
into their
name?
house?
Hank and BB don't deserve that.
We don't know if that's their names. Have you ever met these olds that are working on Kirk Cousins that Tone Diggs has been enamored by ever since watching? I am sorry that is what he took his time to ask a question about too. But on a follow-up, have you ever met these olds?
I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but so I have met them. They are phenomenal people.
Great people.
And
Yeah.
The first time I met them, it was in Kirk's basement, and he wanted me to come see them. And before they even worked on me, they started talking about the last game. And hey, I saw, on this route when you cut, I think your hip was a little stiff, and we need to loosen that up so you can get out of that break a little quicker. So to their credit, they were doing their film study, and they were dialed in and ready for me before I even showed up. So he's got a good thing going on, and he's knock on wood, I don't think he's missed a game in his career from injury. So he's got something that he's figured out, that he's doing a good job, and they're definitely part of that.
Hey, hell yeah. Great to hear that. So now that maybe this asshole
Tony
can stop making that the focus. That's all he talks about with Kirk. Kirk had a great showing in that quarterback show. Great showing. From his wardrobe to his family to his routine.
Firewood.
Everything he did. You made a good fire, Coop. You made a good fire.
He does make a heck of a fire, I'm not going to lie.
Bingo.
And there's nothing better than a fire in Minnesota post-game, maybe mid-October. It's electric. So
couple of those local brews.
I got a wardrobe. So he actually has swag. Like, he really does. He has like these old school Timberwolves shorts and these throwback jerseys. He's got like a whole closet full of all of it. But he still tends to show up to. I don't know if you guys saw the first day of training camp. He shows up in like a short sleeve button up flannel. I'm like, I called Kirk. I said, Kirk, you have so much swag. Why would you do that to yourself? Like, show up in like the retro MJ jersey,
Sunglasses.
Something swaggy. That he does have swag.
Yeah, well, if you watch quarterback, his wife is the one that pieces together the outfits. I think she does a great job.
She does.
Me too.
She does a great job. I think she does a great job. Adam thinks that as well. I assume family, friends, and we appreciate you joining us. Good luck with the launch of the Unreal Golf Line, benefiting the Adam Thielen Foundation. All proceeds will go to making kids' lives better. All you got to do is go to unrl.co tomorrow and purchase one of those incredibly sleek, comfortable, and professional golf line or anything else they have going on over there.
Yes, sir. And you guys should have a little swag box for you all. So hopefully you guys like it.
Oh,
Unreal's got good stuff, right?
Oh, yeah. Real good.
it's unreal.
They got real good stuff.
Unreal.
They're very good. They're very talented at what they do. They make hoodies, right? They're the ones that make the sweet hoodies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that one Vikings one last year, I think, is the one you're thinking of.
Sweet stuff.
Sick.
Yeah, I assume the golf stuff is going to be electrifying. I can't wait to buy some. You're the man. We appreciate you. Good luck this season. Ladies and gentlemen, the Carolina Panthers wide receiver, Adam Thielen.
Yeah,